Hey everyone, welcome back. In the last video, I showed you guys how to create functions that can repeat code easily without having to type it over and over again. In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to make locked chests. Chests that only the person who locks the chest can open and break. This is a bit more involved, but it uses pretty basic concepts, so you should be able to follow it, no problem. We're going to create a command to start, /lock. This is the command that will be run to actually lock a chest. For the description, we'll just say locks a chest the player is looking at. There we go, easy. And we're not going to use the usage again because we don't need to do that. It's an easy command. So we'll go trigger. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to get the information about the chest itself. And we'll use some local variables. So we'll start with set that local variable to the player's targeted block. This will save the chest that we're looking at actually as a variable, and it saves all its information too, which is pretty cool. Next, we'll get the location of that chest. Set another local variable L to the location of the player's targeted block. Next thing we want to do is we want to make sure that the block we're looking at is actually a chest, because we don't want to have, lock any random block. So we'll say, if the block that we checked and saved earlier is a chest, let's lock it. Now the way we're going to track if a chest is locked or not is using a list. We're going to create a list of all the block locations where there is a locked chest, and we'll be able to save the player that locked it along with that location. So we're going to use another if statement here. And we're going to create a list called locked chests. And we want to see if the locked chest at a location, so the index here is the location, if that entry does not exist. If it doesn't exist, that means the chest is not locked. There's no saved location for a locked chest. So we'll add it to make it locked. Set locked chests at this location to player. What this is going to do is this is going to say that there's a locked block at this location and the player that locked it is the current player. And then we'll send a message to that player and we'll say NE to get the color code. You guys can look that up. Successfully locked this chest to the player. That's the command that we need to lock it. And we'll also add a statement, a message, so that if a chest is already locked, we can't lock it again. So we'll say else message, this chest is locked. And since we've been tracking who is locking the chest, we can actually say this chest is locked by locked chests at the current location. And this will return the player's name. So that's the entire command to lock a chest. Now we're basically going to do a very similar thing, but for unlocking. So we'll do command/unlock. Description unlocks a locked chest. Very easy. Add another trigger. We can actually reuse some of our code. So we're going to reuse all this because we want to get the same information. Now what we're going to do is we're going to check to see if the current location in the list here is the same player that's trying to unlock it. So if locked chests at the current location is the player. Now I'm putting the player in % inside of a string just to make sure that it returns as a string. A player is technically an object, and the player has a bunch of data that goes with it. So we just want to get the name of the player, and that's why we're forcing it to become a string here. So if the locked chest at the location is owned by this player, we'll just delete the entry from the list. Delete locked chests at this location. Like that. And we'll send another message. Successfully unlocked this chest to player. And we'll also add another else statement here, which will just send a message if the chest is already unlocked or if the player doesn't actually own it. So we'll say message and we'll do and C. That gives us a nice red color. This chest does not belong to you or is not locked to player. And those are the only two commands that we need to lock and unlock chests. It's actually quite easy because we're just using lists to keep track of it. All right, we have an error. Looks like I just put an extra % there. No problem. We'll fix that, hit save, and reload, and we're good. Okay, so now we're actually going to write the code that's going to check to see whether or not a player owns the chest when they try to break it or open it. Let's start with opening it. To do that, we're going to use the on right click on chest event. This will be triggered anytime someone right clicks on a chest. Let's first get the location of the player's targeted block, which in this case will be that chest. And now we're going to use an if statement. If locked chests, if locked chests, and then we'll get that location, exists. What this is going to do is, this is going to check it to see. What this is going to do is that it'll check to see whether or not the chest is locked at all. And now we're going to use another if statement inside the first one. If locked chests, at that location is not player. What this will do is this will check to see whether or not that locked chest is owned by the player that's trying to interact with it. And that if the player is not the owner, we're going to cancel event. This will cancel the right click and we'll send a message to the player. And we'll do it in dark red. And for this chest is locked and does not belong to you, to player. And that's all we have to do. Now let's do the same thing for an on mine event. This will be triggered anytime someone tries to break the chest. And we can actually just copy this whole thing. And there we go, and paste it. It's that easy. Now you're probably wondering, after our last video about functions, why can't we use a function to do this? Because we're doing the same thing. And the reason is because we're actually trying to cancel an event, and if we used a function to consolidate all this, the function wouldn't know which event is trying to be canceled. There's no event associated with running a function. So in this case, we can't use a function. Anyway, so let's go over to our game. We're going to do script reload, first script, and we're good. I'll set the time today so we can see it. And you can see I have two accounts here. You are all going to burn now. Hey, everyone. So I have a chest here, and I'm going to lock it. So I'm going to walk up to it, look at it, type /lock, and now the chest is successfully locked. Now on my other account, I'm going to walk up, try to open it, and uh-oh, it's locked. Can't do anything. Let's try to break it. Even in creative mode, I can't break it. Now let's unlock the chest. So I'll walk up to it, look at it, and say /unlock. The chest is now unlocked, and I should be able to go open it. I can. There we go. And I can break it too. So very, very simple. And I hope you guys enjoy this. In the next video, I will do something that you guys suggest, so be sure to leave your suggestions in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.